Okay, bit of an update on where we're up to. Right, so inch front wheel, then I can work out where I'm raking this thing to. If they will, I've got to make the mounts for them. They'll be cut off, and more than likely some big exhausts that come up about this high somewhere. So pretty much I've got to do the exhaust mounts. I have to modify this fender to fit. So obviously it's massive. It's just an old fender that come off another bike. I reckon I'll cut this, take the middle section out of it, and get it down to about this size. I'm not sure if I like the style of this fender, but that's all I've got at the. You can't get Australia anywhere the 5-inch. You can't get the 5-inch fenders, so I've looked everywhere and you just can't get them. So it looks like I'll have to make do with this one, and hopefully I can modify this to work. I mean, that's at the moment. If I can get hold of another type of fender, even a trailer fender or something like that, that I can get to work, I'll go that way. But for the time being, it is more and more looking like I'm going to use this. So tonight I've got, if anyone's had a Sporty front end, or I don't know if they come out on many others, but just your normal triple tree, this is a bit of a mess over here, normal triple tree setup, and you know, you got your risers, handlebars, so this sort of thing, okay, and then obviously your handlebars go through here. If you put a Springer front end on, you can't put these risers on. Normal risers won't work. Reason being is they've got a hole normally up through the guts, and you screw them in like that, and I'll show you, opposed to Springer front ends that are, and I'll try and show you, these here, obviously you can't put a screw up through the bottom of it, so it's got to come down through the top. And if you have a look, if I line one side up, you can see how far it's out. So it's out about, I don't know, maybe half a hole, or a bit more. So I've got a bit of an idea. Again, look, it's probably been done a million times. I haven't seen anyone do it, but it's not like I go crazy looking up stuff. Okay, so what my idea is, obviously a Springer front end, you can't use standard risers, okay, because there's nowhere to screw up through. What I'm going to do, and I don't know, as I say, don't know if this has been done before, but I've just got a bit of an idea. It might look absolutely shit, but I'm going to cut them through here, and hold on, I'll see if I can show you this. More than likely I'll have to cut somehow through these as well to make it look half decent, but I'm not too worried about that for now. So I'm going to cut through here. The hole doesn't go all the way through, obviously, because it's an angle. Cut it through here, then I'm going to probably somehow find center, probably from this side, drill up the center and out here. Try and drill it out a little bit bigger so I can fit like an Allen key, like a button head or something like that down in it. And that then I'll be able to screw it up down into the springer front end, and I'll have a set of risers for a springer front end and save myself maybe $100 or more. So what I might do though, I might not use this real good blingy Harley one. I'll probably just use other sort of crappy one here. Oh, of course I don't know good. So I've got to work out a way that I can put this in my saw and it'll cut reasonably straight. So if I put it, I've got that much shit going everywhere here. If I put it like that, it sits naturally nice and square. About 6.57 mil gap underneath it. So if I find something that's around about 7 mil, put under that, I should be able to clamp one end. That'll support it, so as the saw's cutting, it doesn't come down on an angle. Now, I could run it through a bandsaw by hand, but to get both sides perfect like that, it would be a pain in the ass. I could have a stop up against it and run it through a bandsaw like that, and it'd work fine. I'm just not set up for it, so that's the reason I'm doing it this way. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. Okay, I was going to cheat. I know I said I wasn't set up for it. I'm going to make myself set up for it, because I cannot, the way this is going to clamp, it will, I could cut it, but to try and replicate it the other way, other side, is just not going to, it's just not going to work. Trying to find a spot for the camera to go. The bane of my existence. Where is it? Okay, so that's the flat side there. Keep it up against that, that'll go through like that, and that's the flat side there. So keep that like that, and we'll go through like that. I've had to use a 10 mil drill bit underneath to space it up, due to this table having a bow on it. So I would have only used a 7 mil, but because of having a 10 mil because of having the bow on it, I've had to use a 10mm, so it's a pretty slow process. Look, I'm taking it really easy here because it is solid, right? Solid steel, so best off being a bit slow, not putting too much pressure on anything, because you can distort it out the way and do whatever. Look, I don't think these are going to be perfect anyway, but it's not going to be too bad, and they've only got to be, you know, the same as each other. Alright, let's do this next one. Now, the next one, I'm kind of starting off in the curve, so if it doesn't hit straight in the curve, it'll put the blade off from the start, but I'm not going to adjust it. I'm just going to take it nice and easy, and hopefully it'll find its way. Number two, clean these up a little bit. An idea last night, if you wanted to space these up, cut these ones off square, and then, you know, you can drill straight through that hole. The only you know, and you'd probably be able to line up. The only thing is, I don't know where the hole would come out. You'd hope it'd be in the center. It should be, but I'm not too sure, and that's the next thing I've got to contend with. So anyway, so yeah, you could use them and use for a set of you know, higher risers, and I may have to do that yet. So before I go too far, this is roughly what I'm going for. So it looks like it's all, you know, like the main thing is we clear the center nut with the bars, and yeah, and look, these are kicking around everywhere, you know. Just want to show you something, just by doing it that way, look how, like, pretty much perfect everything lines up. There's no huge gaps, it's not leaning crazy one way. The main thing is this all lines up. Before I center punch these and drill it out and do whatever, we've got to work out what we're doing with this. Whether I just cut straight down the guts for now, and that'll get everything mounted up. I screw one of these to it, whichever friggin' one it is, and I just run down the edge of it. Now that's what I'm thinking of. Right. So, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut through this bit and try and hug the edge of this. If I don't like the look of it, then I'm going to go in and hug the side of this riser, but that might be the way to go to start with. Alright, that's what that looks like. Don't know if you can see that. Not tidied up. Okay, so I'll probably get rid of that bit there, but get rid of these burrs. I've left a little bit on there. Believe it or not, I did actually want that, so I can sort of file it down slowly until it touches, and then make it hopefully a little bit nice and straight instead of having that wonkiness go through it. So yeah, that looks shit. I'm gonna nip that off. So nice flat file, run it along there. You can see how far it's out. I'm going to do it from the top because that's the way you're going to see this. All right. Well, that hasn't come up too bad now. Hopefully you won't see any of this, but if you do, you can, you know, file it right back, get rid of it. But for the time being, while we're just sort of fitting everything up, that'll be fine. There's always something you can do. Right. Number 2. From the way you're going to be looking at them anyway, I'd say they're not going to look too bad. Time will tell when we get them on there. So I'll go back to now. I'll revert back to what I was originally going to do. Go get the centers of these sorted, and I'll probably have to go around the workshop and in the drill press around there, because I've got a nice vice that will grab onto these nice and tight. Hopefully, because of the stupid fucking shape, nothing can be guaranteed. But I've got a little bit of a thing on the back of my head. I'm wondering if that little flat spot where you've got R and L for right and left, it sort of looks to be in the center of the post, but I obviously don't want to drill down through there and ends up coming out the side. So yeah, it's way safer doing it from here. If I center punch it, it shouldn't need much lamping anyway, just something to sort of keep it there. All right. Do you think I can find me center punch anywhere? Beautiful. They're all center punched. Tomorrow, if I get the chance, hopefully, I'll take these into work, drill them out, and hopefully we can get some bolts to fit, and I can chuck a set of bars on it so I can start moving it around. I've really got to get on to tracking down a 21-inch front wheel, so I can get this thing rolling, and then I can sort of work out what I'm doing with cutting this frame and stretching it or raking it or whatever I'm going to do. Alright, so here we are. Got a 1/2-inch bit in there, and we've got our risers. Now, just got to work out a way. I've just put this little plate in the bottom here. I'm going to have to sort of put these in. It kind of is going to jam it. I don't want to go too hard, but I've kind of got to jam it because it's an odd shape. Then just going to try and get it in the centre. So it's either going to go really good or really shit. Okay, let's give this a go. Alright. Time for number 2. It's favoured one side a bit, but I was kind of thinking that it's kind of dead in the middle. Rex! Stop! So it's favoured one side a bit on the base. I was kind of thinking that that was going to happen, but that's the main thing. Come out nice in the centre there and got enough room to countersink a head in it if we need to. Okay, this is another key moment. I'm going to countersink this hole, and this is where things are going to go either really shit or they're going to be okay. Ooh, it's a bit dicey. I'm going to clamp this down pretty good. Now that's roughly about it there, and it's roughly about it there. We'll go really slow here because it's going to scratch the side of it. Okay, like that. Still plenty of meat on the bone, and it should cover the head easy. Alright, reset up. Be about right. I should have shown you that, but I was going off for my measurements. I wasn't just eyeballing it. I promise I wasn't. Alright, and that's it. That one's a little bit kicked off, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Cool. Alright. Next stage. Go get some bolts. I should have had the bolts first, but they're about half hour away to a shop, so I'm just going to do it this way, and then I'll, if I've got to modify anything, I'll modify it then. Alright. Just got back from nuts and bolts. We've got our bolts, cap head. We've drilled them out, and perfect. So that's what we're doing. So I haven't tested this out yet, so hopefully we're gonna be all good. I've got some washers as well, just to sort of break the look of everything up a bit too, just in case it looks a bit strange. Or I ran out of thread or whatever. Doesn't look too bad like that. When I was at the nut and bolt shop, we also got some washers just to see if I wanted something like that to break it up, give it a little bit more surface area. We'll see how that looks. It's not too big a deal. I don't know. Maybe that looks like shit. I think I prefer it. I think I prefer it without the washer. Anyway, that's something that can be changed pretty easily. There's a bit smaller washer I got as well to try. Oh, that's probably a bit more subtle. Smaller, thinner washer. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Now, I'll put a set of bars there just to get it straight. These aren't the bars that I'm going to use. It's just to sort of mock it up a bit. And to see if this idea, I twisted a little bit when I've done that. I feel to see if this idea actually works. Well, it should work. It's got to work. And when they're asking $100 at least for a set of these, it's an easy thing to do. There you go. All right. So that's them done. Look, they look all right. They're not 100% perfect, but I didn't go give it 100% effort either. If you took your time with it and you had all the stuff, like I'm kind of rushing through, just trying to get things mounted so I can start moving things around. I didn't have a set of risers for the Springer. Didn't really want to spend $150 on them. So this is a cool little project for someone that has got a Springer front end. They need to get some risers, and they've got these, I'll show you, kicking about. I know you already know what these look like, but they're everywhere. They're pretty much nearly on every Sporty. If you've got these kicking about, you can modify them to go on a Springer front end. If I had to do it again, I'd probably get the bolts first. I think they're 1/2 inch. Yeah, I'd probably get them. So I drilled out, so when I put the bigger drill bit through it, I could get the right depth to start with for the head. I had to go back to, I went up to town, got the bolts, tried a minute, and they just sticking up. Look, it looks a little bit different. Everyone sees this, and most guys do want to change things up just a little bit. I know I do, and you probably would never tell that them risers come from that. And that's the whole point of it. And the sky's the limit. You can clean them up as much as you want to, to make them as good or as ratty as you want. They're going to do me for the time being, and I'd take, if I was going to do it again, I'd get the bolts first. I'd take a bit more time. I wouldn't use an old shitty vise on the drill bench and an old crappy plate that I found kicking around. I'd get it all nice and flat, so when I drilled it I really got the center. I didn't have a center punch. I didn't find one until after I drilled the holes. So I used that real fine center punch, and when you're using drill bits that are about 1/2 inch, it doesn't really find the center. You want to use a nice big center punch when you punch the centers. That's why I found the drill bit, it just kind of wandered off at the start, and I didn't get one of the clamps directly in the middle, and that makes it, when you clamp it on there, instead of being just in the center, it's like a millimeter over. No one will ever pick up on it except for me, and it'll piss me off more than it'll piss anyone else off. Anyway, I hope this helps someone out. That's the finished product.